Hey there, good looking. Join me for this total body strength workout that will hit every muscle in your body using compound exercises. Compound exercises are exercises where we move more than one joint, so it makes them more functional in nature. Now, these are all foundational movement patterns that everybody should be doing in their regular weight training routine. So if you're new to exercise, this is going to teach you how to lift and how to do these exercises. And if you're an intermediate or advanced exerciser, then hey, listen, let's load you up and build muscle. There is nothing fancy with the exercises in today's workout, all right? These are exercises that have truly stayed the test of time. As mentioned, they are foundational movement patterns that require us to push, pull, hinge, squat, and lunge. For equipment, please grab what you consider are a pair of moderate and heavy dumbbells, and maybe an assortment. For reference, I have a pair of 12s and 20s. All right, let's go get started. Before we get started, if you like to track your fitness using your watch, press start now. For reference, I chose the strength setting on my Apple Watch. Let's warm up our core and then work our way into a stand position. Coming onto the stomach, elbows under shoulders. We can stay on the knees to modify this plank or come up off the toes. Now from this position, take the knees, tap them down and straighten. So if you just want to stay on the knees, go for it. I want you to find a level that's going to work for you, remembering that this is the warm up, okay? So we're just getting those core muscles awake and getting them ready for our lifts. Your core is super important, especially when using dumbbells. They're used to help stabilize as well as produce some power. Let's do 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. Come on to all fours. Wrists under shoulders, knees apart underneath the hips. Extend one arm in the opposite leg. Keep the hips squared. Release other side. Once you've seen me, take a gaze at the top of the mat. So we've got that neutral neck alignment. And then think about neutral spine all the way down the tailbone. Breathe it. Reaching it, thumb up to the ceiling as we extend that arm. Heel pressing to the wall behind us. 1 more. Come off of the hands. Take one leg, come up. The other leg, come up. Let's go back down. Now let's take the other leg, go forward. So it's a get up. Functional movement, right? Alternating what leg we're leading with as we come to stand. So do 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Feet hip width apart, hands light at the temple, hinge through the hip, elbows pulled back, mid-back squeezed. So what we're learning here is for our deadlift pattern, how to hinge. Actually, it's going to be, the hinge is going to be used in a few different exercises in today's workout. So I really want you to get that idea that we're moving through that hip, not through the waist. One cue I like to get people to, if they're new to this, is to put a broomstick or a dowel and make sure that they can hold that dowel against their tailbone, mid-back, and head. It gives you a good idea that you're moving through, as I mentioned, the leg, the hip there, not your waist. Last 2. 1 more. Excellent. Give me the arms in a V position. Slide the shoulder blades in the back pocket. Feet are wider than shoulders, toes turned out. And let's get into that squat pattern now. Knees are going to track with the second toe. If you're in bare feet, that really gives you a good idea where the knees are tracking. And then the arms are up with the shoulder blades drawn into the back pocket to get into the mid-back, upper back area. So for today's workout, we have 3 sets of everything. So we're really focusing on muscle building and bone building too. And as mentioned, I want you to find a weight today that's going to challenge you. So it's going to depend on where you are in your fitness journey, as well as how the heck you're feeling today. Let's do 1 more. Beautiful. Keep the arms up. Now big circles. Get into the shoulder joint. Really exaggerate that range of motion. Now there is a little bit of up and down in the workout where we're lying down and then we need to stand immediately after. But we have 20 seconds transition. But we do that not to be cruel or not to get you up and down, but because we need to manipulate gravity when we're working with dumbbells. All right, grab a quick sip if you need it now. We're going to start with the heavies. with our pull pattern, bent over row, and then a front squat. So, feet hip width, hip hinge, pull up, release. Do it again. Now we want ourselves strong, especially in the core. We have those abs braced. So for those of you new to exercise or new to me, think about somebody's coming in to sucker punch you and you're bracing for that impact, and then maintain that ab bracing while we do the exercise while you're still breathing. That's the key, right? I don't want you holding your breath. Now, speaking of breath, when's the best time to breathe? Well, whenever the heck you remember, but if you are working out with me for a while, think about the exhale on the heart. So right here as we lift, exhale. Last one. Drive to stand. All right, now we'll superset this with a lower body exercise. It's a foundational movement pattern that everybody should be doing, a squat. How far you go down is up to you. You can hold on to one dumbbell, no dumbbells, or join me, both of them racked in a front squat position. Feet a little wider than shoulders, toes turned out, drive down. Good. So I have tight hips, so I find a little wider stance, I can maintain my alignment better. So I want you to play around with it. Couple of tips though, if you do want to train, for instance, your quadriceps, the muscles in the front of your thighs, you might want a little narrower stance. You can also bring your dumbbells down. Just make sure that they don't affect the tracking of the knee when you do. Having them up, however, does work more core. Slow and controlled with your movements, please. We're not in a rush. One more. All right, so those are our 2 exercises. We have 2 more rounds. So one round is called a set. We're gonna go into our second set. We have 3 sets total. So let's bring those feet in now, hip width. Hinge through the hip, push the bum back, arms down, row up, breathe out, pardon me, and release. Good. Nice and slow and controlled. So we've got all the muscles working that are connected to the elbow and shoulders here. And then we're doing this with dumbbells. So we got a ton of core. We got our legs involved. Good. I don't know if you can hear it, but somebody is doing something outside my house right now. I wonder if loving husband is doing some sort of home repair. Last one. Woo. All right, so we have that front squat. So again, I like that stance. Feet just a bit wider than my shoulders, but play around with it on your end. Here comes trouble. Everybody, this is Max. He can't stay away. Go lay down, big guy. Rock the weights, take it down. We're squatting right here. Bum goes rear. So we have a hinge happening in this squat pattern too. Now your chest is lifted. Beautiful. Now, take a look at where your wall and your ceiling meet, unless you're super close to your wall, but that's where I want your gaze. And that's gonna help us keep that upper back position. Knees are tracking with that second toe. If you're having a hard time with that, I want you to pretend you're on a piece of newspaper and you're trying to split it apart. That's gonna get our outer hip muscles fired up and get you that sensation of where your knee should be. One more. Excellent. All right, we got one more each of these foundational movements, and then we're gonna go on to a new series. So feet are back to hip width. We want to hinge through that hip joint. So again, if I had that dowel, my head and my tailbone would hold that dowel. Brace through my abs, row up, squeeze the shoulder blades, release. So we're probably getting anywhere between 8 to 12 reps, depending on the exercise. We want to be challenged by the end of the set. We couldn't do a couple more reps with good form. So you're gonna be always reevaluating what weight you're using. For those of you on the Over 50 Fitness app, if you're enjoying this workout as-free, remember you have the notes feature, so you can type in what weight you're using. So next time you revisit the workout, you're like, oh, I was using 8s for this, and now I've got 10s. All right, come to stand. All right, feet apart, Final squat pattern. If you've been using one dumbbell, can you try two for this final one? Just throwing it out there. Here we go, rock them. 3, 2, 1, chest lifted, gaze up. Let's push the hips rear. Drive to stand. Good job. Down, nice and slow. Remember that cue on a piece of newspaper and you're trying to split that newspaper? Now I know that I said our heart rates aren't going to go up, but mine's up right now, right? That's the thing when we're working compound exercises. We've got a lot of muscles involved, so our heart has to work a little harder to pump the blood to them. Whew. All right, keep the heavies, please. Let's get down into it on the bum, and then have the dumbbells resting on the thighs. All right, next foundational movement pattern are presses and hinges. So we're going to start with the press. Lie back, elbows slightly in front of the shoulders, wrist straight, knuckles press up to the ceiling and lower. Chest press. If you have access to a barbell, then you would do a bench press. But right here, foundational movement pattern. This is also a great exercise sub for workouts where they're doing push-ups and you just don't want to do a push-up. Doesn't get the exact same muscles as a push-up, but pretty darn close. Our breath out is as we press up, keeping those knuckles up to the ceiling, lowering back down to the elbows are in front of the shoulders. All right, now we're going to come to stand with the heavies. Moving into a deadlift now, so that hinge pattern, but weighted. I like what's called an RDL, Romanian deadlift, where we're going to have the movement through the knees a bit and then through the hips. So bend the knees, sit your bum back, and then let the dumbbells come down the thighs, front of the shins, and drive up. Shoulders are pulled back and down. So now we've got a lot of mid-back working to hold this posture. Once again, learning that hinge, moving through the hip. So this is the series where we are up and down. Again, my apologies. However, think about all that up and down we're doing as another functional exercise. Last one. Awesome. All right, back down for our second set of chest press. Dumbbells rest on the thigh. This is how I love people to get set up. Less stress to your shoulders. Lie back, boom. Slide the elbows slightly in front of the shoulders. Wrist straight, knuckles to the ceiling. Press up, exhale. Speed of movement is important. So because this is a pure strength workout, we're thinking, 5, 6 seconds each rep. Nice and slow and controlled. If we were working more power, we would speed it up. So we'd be working speed plus strength. All right, come into stand. Feet are going to be about shoulder width. Pull the shoulders back and down. I don't know about you, but I can feel my grip strength working too. Can you? Yeah, we haven't let go of these dumbbells, have we? Here we go. Bend the knees, now hinge to the hips. Grip strength's important as we get older. About 30 seconds, we can give our hands a shake. Let's finish this set strong though. Another cue to help you learn the hinge through the hip as opposed to the pants or the waistline is think about pushing your hips to touch the wall behind you. So there's this definitive bum going rear as we hinge over the thighs. Last one. All right, take it down. Final. Oh, no, that was it. Yay. Yay, yes. Oh, or was it? My math is not very good. That is it. Perfect. See that math? See how fast that was? Huh? All right, I want you to grab your moderates now. Stagger your stance and breathe out and press up. This is an overhead press, another foundational movement. Now I want this to be a strict press, so we're not going to use the legs like this, like we do sometimes in the workouts. So this might mean that you need to knock the dumbbells down, maybe even one more set, or hold on to one dumbbell with two hands. I like 1 foot behind. I call this a tripod stance, or staggered stance really, and it just helps give me more support for my low back. Breathe out as we press up. Excellent. All right, now let's switch out back to those heavy dumbbells. And again, heavy is going to be relative to where you are in your fitness journey. Start at the top of your mat, feet hip width apart. Take your left leg, step it back and lunge. Drive to stand. If your knees are sensitive with a lunge, perhaps it's just a quarter lunge. Functional because this is mimicking a walking step, isn't it? Those of you that can, we want to take that knee deep, maybe even going as low as touching the ground. We're going to step back with the feet hip width, and that's going to give us a really good base of support. One more. All right, so let's go back to that shoulder press. Okay, grab on lighter dumbbells and you're pressing up. Bend those legs to get those dumbbells though, not your back. Deal? Stagger your stance. Whew. Now dumbbells can face you or me, whatever feels better for your shoulders. Press up. So I find a lot of people find it easier on their shoulders to have the palms facing them. So I want you to play around with it. That's why I like dumbbells for an overhead press as opposed to a barbell. Barbell places your shoulder in a very fixed position, which doesn't feel comfortable for many of us. Dumbbells, we can move around our grip and find what feels good so we can hit the shoulders and triceps without any issues to the shoulder joint itself. Last two. Last one. All right. You know what? I don't think we did 3 sets of the chest press and deadlift. I know you're at home going, no, we didn't, PJ. No, we didn't. So we'll finish this off. We still have one more of each, and then we'll play it from there. Heavy dumbbells in hand. Step back. Take that lunge as deep as it feels good for you. Just make sure you bend the knees a little bit, okay? The knees are meant to bend and hinge. The less we use them, the more issues we're going to come up with them. So, or the more issues they're going to give us. This also feels really nice if you're doing it in bare feet. Can really get a good step, find that balance. Last one. Whew. All right, one more of each. Then we'll go finish off that 3rd set of the chest press and deadlifts. Oh, shake out the hands. Here we go. Grab onto those lighter weights. Stagger your stance. 3, 2, 1. Brace those abs. Press up. Position the hand in whatever position makes that shoulder feel good. And breathe out as we press up. Listen, if you are new to strength training and you're not part of Over 50 Fitness, I highly recommend you go give us a try. We did a revamp of our 21-day beginner program, and it really talks you through all the basics and guides you for 21 days. Great little program. Also fantastic if you're just getting back into fitness. So there's a link below for a 14-day trial. Last 2. One more. Whew. All right, lunge. So if you can, let's try grab those heavies again, one in each hand. Last time here. Top of the mat, feet hip width, pull the shoulders back and down, brace those abs. Step back, lunge down. Last two. One more. All right, now because I'm a stickler for 3 sets, let's take it down and finish off those chest presses. So keep those heavies. They're gonna be on the thighs. Lie back, elbows in front of shoulders, wrists straight, knuckles to the ceiling. Back of the neck is long, press up, exhale. Breathe out as we press those weights up against gravity. That's the hard. So when you're thinking about your breath, it's exhaling on the hard. All right, come to stand. Last exercise. Maybe shake out that grip. We've got those deadlift moves now, that final set of them. Feet shoulder width. Toes, knees, hips, shoulders forward. Brace those abs. Hinge through the hips, slide the dumbbells down, almost like you're shaving your legs. Again, important that we brace the abs. We want to feel this in the back of your thighs, your hamstrings, and your glutes, maybe even a little bit in the hips, but nothing in your low back. Maybe the muscles working to support the spine, but that's it. Last one. There we go, we did it. Grab a sip of water. Cheers, just one hiccup. Okay. Let's stretch a little bit and then you can continue on with the rest of your day. Bravo for showing up today. Let's get knee on the ground. Lunge forward. And if this is bothersome for the knee, double up your mat. Tighten up that glute. Inhale the arms straight up. Think about separating rib from hip and then lean away, slight lean. So those are foundational movement patterns, compound exercises. Once you've mastered those, you pretty much can do anything. Most exercises just kind of build off of that. Let's take this arm, circle it behind you nice and slow. Straighten this front leg. Maybe grab your dumbbells, your light set to build your ground up. Toe up, hinge over the thigh. Now, of course, these foundational movement patterns could look different in a gym, right? Your chest press would turn into a bench press. Your alternating bent over rows, perhaps pull-ups or assisted pull-ups. But when I program my workouts and teach for you, I've got one woman in mind, and that's the woman at home with access to some dumbbells and wants a no-nonsense workout without a stupid clickbaity title that will get her fit and not be condescending to her as to whether or not she's a beginner or intermediate advanced. Lunge forward, tighten that back glute, inhale the arm up, lean away. whether you're 50, 60, 70, or beyond. You can do this. You need to be doing it. Those 20 and 30-year-olds, those are peak muscle mass, peak bone mass people. It's when we get 50 plus that we need to do this so that we age strong. Circle the arms slow, nice and slow, right behind you. Good. Build the ground up. Straighten that front leg. Push the hips rear. Release. Dumbbells just off to your side. Let's get the big toes together, knees apart, thumbs pointed up, and hands are mat width. So the arms kind of look like a letter V. Now sit yourself back. If you can, forehead to the ground. Thumbs still pointed and rotated up to your ceiling. Getting into your lats. And if we're sitting back on our heels, our glutes low back. Now, sitting right back on your heels isn't available, right? You just sit back to where you are able to. So maybe it's more of a puppy pose, at which point, which is great, because now we're getting some thoracic spine here. So, come on up. Let's get into the forearms. Have a seat, whatever is comfortable for you. Fingertips to the ground. Grab onto them, making sure that you can pull the ring finger and the middle finger towards you, and then rotate the palm away from the midline of the body. So I'm pushing my ring and index or middle finger towards me. It's going to give me a better stretch in the extensors of the forearm, which tend to be an issue when we grip a lot, such as with dumbbells, and they can set us up, if done on a regular basis without taking care of them, tennis elbow. I'm a tennis elbow queen, so take it from me, little grasshopper. Learn from my mistakes. Release. Let's do the other side. Again, we want to try and get the ring finger and middle finger towards you and then rotate away. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you got a good workout in. You're going to perfect these foundational movement patterns and that I get to see you again. So drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you, and then we will see you next workout. Bye.